Dear friends, welcome back to KNS Biochemistry channel. Swagatam to all. In this video session, I am going to talk about one of the area of biomedical applications of these nanoparticles or nanomaterials. This is nothing but nanoparticles flow studies. When these nanoparticles are introduced inside the system, that is in vivo, when they are traveling in the blood vessels, and we have to see their behavior. We have to study that one. That is nothing but the background studies of these nanoparticles. Let us see the session now. So here you can see that a flexible non-ionic surfactant based multi-bilayer tube where you see that these polyhedral neosomes they are conveniently flowing through that, which might be adapted for use as a model for the study of capillary nanoparticle flow, because this is a very minute capillary that is a tube. It is a non-ionic surfactant multi-bilayer tube. Through that see that nanoparticles, polyhedral neosomes, they are the nanoparticles, so that they are flowing very conveniently. So rheological examination of nanoparticle blood mixtures and nanoparticle suspensions of mixed radius has also see that very easily. You see that going through that through these tubes, the potential complexity of particle movement in blood, that is in the blood vessels, blood capillaries, is also possible here. So in addition, erythrocyte blockage at bifurcations where you see that one vessel you see that divides into two branches, that is bifurcation point. So that is called a bifurcation area. So erythrocyte blockage at bifurcations or narrowing of vessels, the narrowing of the blood capillaries can lead to slowing down of blood flow and a change in rheology as the hematocrit increases. So the recent investigation says that the transport of nanoparticles across the cell monolayers and intracellular transport of dendrimers has assisted in defining some of the issues involved in targeting the cells, that is target cells within the cells. So here you can see some of the studies done on nanoparticle flow inside the body system. So a group of people that is Fokins group of people, they did a study on the transport of viral sized colloids. That is colloids, they are having the size of a virus. It's very small. So viral sized colloids following intravenous or intralymphatic injection. So you are going to inject those viral sized colloids intravenously, that is inside the blood vessel, or intralymphatic injection, that is through the skin, that is in between the lymphatic vessels you are injecting. So when following this intravenous or intralymphatic injection, it is relevant to drug delivery even if their objectives were different. So 100 to 200 nanometer diameter sized sulfur colloidal nanoparticles, they reach the lymph after IV injection, that is intravenous injection, in around 25 minutes. It takes only 25 minutes. After intralymphatic injection of the same nanoparticles, but this time they are injected intralymphatic mode. So after intralymphatic injection, these particles appear in the blood vessel, that is venous blood, only after 4 seconds. So in the previous one it takes 25 minutes. Here it is only 4 seconds. So following subcutaneous injection, similar particles reach the lymph after 2 to 9 minutes. That is subcutaneous through skin you are injecting. So when that subcutaneous injection is done, they reach the lymph after 2 to 9 minutes. So it is not small like 4 seconds or not big like 25 minutes. It is in between that. So all the 95% of the particles remain at the injection site for at least 45 minutes. So here the nanoparticles are being used as indicators of blood and lymph flow. What is also relevant to drug delivery is the influence of fluid flow on the movement and fate of nanoparticles. So another group of people observed uptake rates of 1.27 millimicron and 15.8 millimicron polystyrene nanoparticles in the lungs and liver after intravenous injection, IV injection. The sequestration in the lungs was size dependent, but possibly affected because the smaller particles were taken up by the Kupffer's cells, that is immune cells of the liver, leaving the larger particles free to be taken up by the lungs tissue. So the rapidity of this suggests that in effect, flow of the microparticles is solely determined by the blood flow. So the rate of blood flow determines the reaching of these nanoparticles to the site.
Friends, I hope you have understood the topic of nanoparticle flow studies, that is the background studies of nanoparticle flow. So with that I am going to stop this session. I'll come with another topic in the next session. Until then, it is bye from KNS Biochemistry. Thank you one and all. Namaskar.